Yo, what's going on, guys? It is January 21st. We're going to do our weekly or bi-weekly roundup that we've been doing. Seems like you guys enjoy this. Timestamps are going to be in the description of each rumor, and we're going to go ahead and get into it. We've got a bunch. I'll just give you guys a quick rundown so you know what we're talking about today. The Nets are expected to be buyers in the trade deadline. The Knicks are interested in Jordan Clarkson and Bruce Brown Jr. The Hawks are not entertaining a Trae Young trade. Victor Wembanyama will have his minutes restriction lifted soon. I think that's part of it. That's not the Chris Boucher rumors we're hearing, Quentin Grimes rumors. But yeah, that's basically what we have. Let's hop into it. So we're hearing from multiple news outlets about the mutual love or expression that the Bruce Brown camp and the Knicks camp have for each other. But that's not the only player that the Knicks are interested in. Specifically, Mark Stein of the Stein Line is saying that they have a registered interest in Jordan Clarkson. Some scoring help off the bench, especially in the backcourt since trading quickly, would be something that they definitely would benefit from. But Bruce Brown is probably their most coveted player, as well as Tom Thibodeau favorite, Al Burks. Then there's Terry Rozier and Malcolm Brogdon. They do have Quentin Grimes and Evan Fournier as a nice, convincing appealing package for teams for those type of caliber players. The team is looking for another ball handler with some scoring punch alongside Jalen Brunson. As I said, the Knicks are actively, seeking offers for Quentin Grimes, assuming that it's probably going to be packaged with Evan Fournier. Now, what we are additionally hearing is that the Knicks, ever since they hooked up on that one trade with the Raptors, they could do another deal. Bruce Brown is somebody. It's funny that because they're suing each other, but it seems like he's the type of guy that would fit the defensive mindset and can, replace some of that ball handling, playmaking, perimeter defense, and three-point shooting that they gave up when they moved RJ Barrett and Emmanuel quickly for OG Anunoby. Now, what we do know is specifically that Bruce Brown's happy to be a Raptor, but he was even happier to play against the Knicks because you could see himself allegedly playing for the Knicks and Tom Thibodeau at some point. And when he was asked about it, Jared Schwartz, the New York Post, writes, Brown said he's the Thibodeau type of player. Quote, I'm a dog. I play extremely hard on both ends of the floor, and I can do just whatever Tom Thibodeau needs me to do, end quote. Brown said he considered signing with the Knicks before he signed with the 2-year deal with the Pacers. The 6'4", 5" swingman is the type of guy Thibodeau loves. And there's rumors that the Knicks are targeting the man, and he's a Raptor right now, and he's saying that he, quote, plays extremely hard. He thinks I'm the type of player that he likes. Every time we play Thibs, I go up to him, shake his hand just because of what he's done. Nothing but respect for Thibs, end quote. Brown also mentioned how much he came to love New York from his time with the Brooklyn Nets, end quote. Quote, I love New York. I hated New York before I lived here, but as soon as I moved here, I love it. Anytime you want to do something, you can go do it. Great restaurants, great city. I love being back, end quote, Brown said. So it seems like two people have a mutual affection for each other. We'll see where that goes. But let me know your thoughts on the other guys. What we do know is Grimes is registering interest from the Hawks, Grizzlies, Rockets. So that one could make sense. Something ends up there. By the way, I think the Bruce Brown and Jordan Clarkson deal would just be Quentin Grimes and Evan Fournier, maybe some picks involved. Let's stick with the topic of New York Knicks. Quentin Grimes is drawing trade interest, according to Ian Bagley of this SNY Sports New York, that the Atlanta Hawks, Memphis Grizzlies, Utah Jazz, and Houston Rockets. The Knicks reportedly want to upgrade their bench and are looking for another ball handler and some scoring punch behind Jalen Brunson. They've been linked to Bruce Brown and Jordan Clarkson. Now Quentin Grimes is probably going to be packaged with Evan Fournier, which he rightfully should be. Now, when you look at the Atlanta Hawks, I think they would, if they do this deal, the Knicks would probably be involved in the DeJounte Murray deal, either them receiving DeJounte or being the third team to help facilitate for the Lakers, where maybe they take on somebody from the Lakers or something like that. But I just think it's very unlikely. Now, I think the Hawks are just talking with the Knicks to be a third team. Let me hear your thoughts, Knicks and Hawks fans. I just say it like that. I think the Grizzlies and Jazz offer them a better selection of players. Obviously, Jordan Clarkson. I think Evan Fournier and Quentin Grimes for Jordan Clarkson is the most likely deal right there that we're hearing. If Grimes was going to be, because he's making like $23 million. Clarkson is. And if you look over with another team, the Grizzlies, I think could be an interesting one. If you do package the two guys, it's like $20 million. Luke Kennard I don't think they're going to go after Marcus Smart, but if they could, that'd be cool. And I don't think they're going after Derrick Rose, but maybe they're trying to see if they could get somebody like a David Roddy, or maybe they're trying to go ahead and get one of the younger guys. I think the Grizzlies don't have as much players to offer as I think the Jazz could also offer, Kelly Olynyk and other players. But the Rockets, I think, are the most intriguing one that could be the sneaky dark horse that actually get this deal done, because they have Jae'Sean Tate, they have Jock Landale, and they do have backup point guard and Aaron Holiday, and they have Jalen Green and Victor Oladipo. I think Victor Oladipo is still, I think, out for the season with that knee injury he had in the playoffs. So my thought process, potential, and there's also Tari Eason, and there's Reggie Bullock. So it could be maybe like Reggie Bullock and Aaron Holiday, or some other combination like Jae'Sean Tate or Jock Landale for Quinn Grimes, maybe Evan Fournier. But that one, to me, makes sense. Let me hear your thoughts. So when I was at Summer League, I actually sat with 3 former Hawks. I think one guy stuck with the Hawks. 2 of the guys were with Nate McMillan, and then they were with Quinn Snyder. But as soon as the season ended, they both, went elsewhere. I think one ended up, and I think with the Clips, and then the other one stayed with the Hawks. I think he's the video coordinator, and the other one, I don't know what he's doing, but we were all talking, and I asked them if Trae Young's actually a diva or anything, as much as the media makes him out to seem, and they all told me he's actually like a really quiet dude, just keeps his head down and works. He's a really nice guy, and I believe it that the Hawks and him just remain steadfast that they don't want to do any business regarding trading him. So DeJounte Murray appears to be one of the more available players in the entire NBA to be for trade. And part of that reasoning is obviously the Hawks want to continue to build around Trae Young. And Zach Lowe says people around the Hawks say the idea of Trae Young being traded is unpalatable. Now, Young signed a 5-year, $250 million deal with the Hawks in 2021 and is signed through 25 to 26 with an option for the 26 to 27. That's a player option. Now, the Hawks do owe future first-round picks to the Spurs as part of that 2020 Murray deal. A complete rebuild initiated by Trae Young would be illogical. You don't trade a guy who has the potential to be a Hall of Famer. Young has guided the Hawks to conference finals in 21. He's continued to put up all-star quality numbers, but there's concerns about his liability on defense, his efficiency numbers that put him below that superstar realm, and being able to win, I think, is the biggest thing. Now, I think the last 2.5 years have not been fair roster construction for him. I think that's definitely quite evident. And I think when you look at this team, it's a big problem with it is they need to figure out what they want to do as a team with their roster. Because I think it's definitely concerning to think, they want to be a better team, but they're clearly struggling with the fact that what direction they want to go with what to build with Trae Young. I think clearly having a 6'7" guy like they did with Kevin Huerter, like Trae Young, like Klay Thompson is next to Steph Curry is the right move. I think that's the big thing. You got to find a 6'7" shooting guard. Maybe go out and try. If Paul George ever became available or someone of that architect, that's what they need to do. But yeah, I'm in the camp. Let's not trade him. Let me hear your thoughts. Let's get to the next one. So the Pacers supposedly called up the Jazz and were like, hey, what would it take to trade Lauri Markkanen? And that was before they, did the Pascal Siakam deal. And the Jazz showed no interest in trading Markkanen. Zach Lowe of ESPN says Markkanen has emerged as an all-star, borderline all-NBA player in the league. Basically the closest thing to Dirk Nowitzki we've had since Dirk Nowitzki. And by all accounts, any team would have to grossly overpay to consider taking him off of the Utah Jazz's roster. Now, he signed through the 24 to 25 season, and he's expressed returning and remaining long-term with the Jazz. And he is rumored to be signing a renegotiation and contract extension, kind of similar to what like Domantas Sabonis, Miles Turner did last year. So imagine that. I'm very excited to see that. I want to hear your guys' thoughts on this one. This is the rest of what we heard. We're hearing that the Brooklyn Nets are expected to be buyers at the NBA trade deadline. In the video, we'll talk about all the rumors we're hearing. Since the Brooklyn Nets rested a number of players in their 144 to 122 loss at home on December 27th to the Milwaukee Bucks, they've had a 1-8 record. The Nets are one game out of the play-in behind the Atlanta Hawks, but many around the league expect them to continue to compete for a shot at the postseason. Brian Windhorst says that he can't speak for the Nets at this second, but the word throughout the NBA is that they're attempting to be buyers. He said on his Hoops Collective podcast, and the podcast conversation was centered around whether the Nets should look up to pick some future draft capital for Dorian Finney-Smith, who values around the league is high. And supposedly they want 2 first-round picks. And the Nets do not control their first-round pick this season, as it was sent to the Rockets as part of the 21 James Harden deal, which incentivizes them from tanking. And Brooklyn already has a number of incoming future picks from the Suns and Mavs deals that they got from Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. So it only makes sense for them to want to contend. So I think they would take a shot on some rentals. Potentially anybody that wouldn't cost them to like be handicapped for too long. I think that's the whole thing that they would want to just figure out with there. But I definitely think it's feasible for them to find players that could fit their team and the direction they're going, because I think they have a good strategy. Sean Marks has shown a good job of being able to build a roster competently. So I have faith in this team. Let me hear your thoughts down below. The rest of the video is what we've reported about in the past. So the Lakers are pursuing Collin Sexton and Tyus Jones. I think Collin Sexton's playing too good right now for the Lakers to afford him, but he's like a microwave. Tyus Jones making $14 million, and you would assume maybe a package of, Gabe Vincent with one of the young guys, or Taurean Prince, like Taurean Prince and Gabe Vincent, or Jackson Hayes, Max Christie with Gabe Vincent, and 1 second-round pick for Tyus Jones. I know the Wizards want a first-round pick for him, and I'm a Wizards fan, and I understand that. But Dave McMahon of ESPN is saying that the Lakers are known to be looking for upgrades in the trade market. A particular area of interest for them is the backcourt. 2 players that they might be interested in is Tyus Jones of the Wizards, who's having a great year and wants to remain a starter, and then Collin Sexton of the Utah Jazz. Tyus Jones is openly available, while Collin Sexton's status is unclear due to his recent strong play and the Utah Jazz kind of turning their season around. Jones is on an expiring $14 million deal, and the Wizards are in the first season of their multi-year rebuild, and Jones has started all 39 games for the Wizards. And what they're saying is that, he's having career highs this year: 13 points, 3 rebounds, 6 assists, 52% from the field, 42% from 3, and he wants to remain a starter. While Collin Sexton is making $17.5 million and has $37.1 million left on his deal through 25 to 26, and the Jazz have won 6 games in a row and 12 of their last 14. So it's unclear if the Utah Jazz will want to move Sexton, who's been a key scorer since moving into the starting lineup, and them having a really good turnaround. So I want to hear you guys' thoughts. The rest of the video will probably be what we reported about the Lakers in the past. I love Chris Boucher. I'm like, not even kidding. And Blake Murphy of ODC Sportsnet, Raptors and Blue Jays analyst, says that he's most likely to be traded if the Raptors do another deal, that a bunch of teams are reaching out. I remember hearing the Boston Celtics were interested in him. I love Chris Boucher. Chris Boucher, a few seasons ago, averaged like 14 points, was like a 6th man of the year candidate. He's a guy who, with a 7'4" wingspan and 6'9", went to Oregon, and he started playing basketball at like 23 or something like that. Insane. It's a great story. If you guys haven't heard of it, go up. This year he's averaging in 14 minutes a night, 6.5 points, 47% from the field, 33 from 3, 4 rebounds, and just under a block a game. About half a block. Maybe I was overzealous there. But the guy's an elite shot blocker, microwave off the bench. He's a super skinny big who can play both the power forward and center position. He really can shoot the 3, 6'9" with that 7'4" pterodactyl arms. He'll get up there for shots. He's improved really well. He's a great rotational player. The problem is he can get him to foul trouble. He's making $11.75 million. And for, a team that needs like forward help, I think really, look, they could do, Boucher could help them, in my opinion. I think when you look at forward help, a team that needs the power forward, we see like the Dallas Mavericks. They could go out and maybe offer Rashawn Holmes and a pick. I really think that could help. And then you go over here, the Rockets are another one. They're, a little skinny there, but maybe like Jayshawn Tate, you could offer up. He's not really playing as much as you thought. I think the Oklahoma City Thunder, he's kind of like, I think could be a consolidation guy who won't cost you too much and could help out there. But yeah, I really do think, having a team like the Dallas Mavericks, Rashawn Holmes could do a good one. I think the Denver Nuggets would love him, but I think they don't really have the contracts to be able to do that. And I think that's the big one, keeping him from being able to do it. Same thing, unless like the the Lakers wanted to trade Mr. Gabe Vincent for him. I think Kyle Anderson, it may be packaged with Wendell more, could intrigue them. I don't think a team like the Bucks or Suns would have the capital to get a deal done, but I think those are all teams that, you know, make sense if they were trying to make a move for him. Let me hear your thoughts. And to wrap it all up, because everybody loves a little Spurs stuff, Victor Wembanyama may have his minutes restriction lifted. Victor Wembanyama has been under a minutes restriction over the past few weeks, basically the entire season, and the Spurs have kept their prized big men from playing in back-to-back games of the same period. It's unclear when Wembanyama will be able to play in back-to-backs, but the minutes restriction may be lifted soon. Quote, not by the next game at Philadelphia on Monday night, but perhaps after that. Spurs coach Greg Popovich said when asked when Wemby will be able to play more. The big man hasn't played more than 28 minutes in a game since December 17th. Over the last 12, he hasn't averaged more than 24.5 minutes. He's also missed one end of a back-to-back 3 times with the last month plus. It's just they don't want a kid want to get hurt, but Victor Wembanyama, who's having a stellar season this year, is right here, just, you know, averaging 20 points. Damn, getting a call, guys. But that's the video. Just kidding. Either way, yeah, right now he's averaging 20 points, 46% from the field, and he's a guy, you know, 30% from 3, 10 rebounds, 3.5 blocks a game, an absolute animal, and hopefully he continues to do this, but it'll be fun to see with him, you know, playing more and more minutes. Is going to be awesome. But let me pull up his last 10 games in a minutes restriction, dude. Listen to what he's been putting up. It's absurd. Okay, the last 8 games, 24 points in 25 minutes, 3.5 rebounds, 3 assists, 9.5 rebounds. It's insane. Like, the kid is an absolute animal, not human. We've never seen anything like it, so it's definitely fun to see, you know, and experience this. And I'm not even like a Wemby like stan, how some people are. But I think it's just more of the sense that, like, oh, this is like something we've never seen before. So I'm just, you know, recognizing it for what it is. So I want to hear your thoughts right there. That's the video. Bye.